Jay here for Stretford Paddock. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Sorry, I didn't have my screen that usually tells me we're live, so apologies there. I was just in the middle of sending a strongly worded tweet to someone who'd upset me.
Is Mark Noble by any chance?
We are going to be talking about Mark Noble, though, so well done, Mr. Joe Smith, who's also joining me. If you're not doing, make sure you are getting involved in the comments, hitting that like button, giving us a subscribe and all that jazz. It is live, and we do want to hear from you. Yeah, Mark Noble, who, you know, has got a bit giddy with his win in the
lottery.
Fourth most important competition in football.
And also like the fourth most important game in that competition.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? So he started having a dig at Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard, by the way, is the only reason that West Ham are even near European football.
The only reason that they're in the League Cup.
Yeah.
Because they'd have been down in the conference if it weren't for him.
Exactly.
What else are we talking about?
We'll talk about Anthony Martial, right?
Yep.
I'm going to say this now, a bit of a disclaimer so you all know. We're going to talk about Anthony Martial briefly because I'm sick of hearing about him. All I've heard for the last sort of, 24 hours almost, Anthony Martial. Now,
Anti-Martial.
That being said, we have got another video on Anthony Martial, so that's why I'm not too keen to talk about him. Joe has been fielding a debate between Adam McCullough and John Shin. That's going to be up on the channel soon. You've also got the fan cams, you've got the reaction. He had a stinker. He's not having a good time of it. We'll briefly touch on that and then move on. We're going to be talking about this is the real story.
This is the real quiz.
This is the real quiz.
What we got?
Right. This, I think, personally, and you know what? We have a laugh and all that on the channel, and I'm, as guilty of it as anyone and making light of things. But, some things are pretty serious. So, you know what I mean? It's not all sunshine and rainbows and laughter. And this is a serious story that you have to give it the attention it deserves. I mean, it broke earlier on this afternoon. Knocked us all for 6. He's been upset.
I'm laughing, but these are.
It's one of them where you're like, do you remember, like the older generation? Do you remember where you were when JFK was shot? Yeah. This is our
the
moment.
Even older generation. Do you remember where you were when Tutankhamun died?
Yeah.
And even before that, do you remember where you were when the Dolphins re-entered the sea?
Yeah, or when Manchester City won the Champions League.
Which is even before that.
Yes, exactly. So this is one of those moments. It is, where were you, Joe, when you found out that Cristiano Ronaldo had been to Subway and Hugh?
I was upstairs, actually, and I still can't believe it. I'm still struggling to get over it, to get through it all.
This is serious. This broke. We almost went live straight away, but Joe had to go and have a sit down and a glass of water because he couldn't cope with it.
I had to have a 6-hour nap like Eric.
Yeah.
That's what I had to do.
Do you know what? I have an 8-hour nap every night, mate, and I'm fine.
I don't actually sleep at night. I just have an 8-hour nap. That's it.
Producer Erin told us that it's all right. She had a 6-hour nap earlier. 6-hour nap.
Sorry, Erin. She said it's a thing.
6 hours.
Right, what's our first proper story? Stop laughing.
What's worse is she's a bus driver in the day, so that's even worse. You know what I mean? What passengers must have thought, I don't know. Right, so also we've got Dalot, Diogo Dalot. And here's another one that's boring me, but we'll make it exciting. Donny van der Beek. I'm going to talk about him. Right, we'll start with Mark Noble.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call him, dickhead.
Fart no balls.
Fart no balls, eh? Mark Skid Mark.
Skid Mark no balls. So the skid mark went right round to his knob because he had no balls to stop it.
Exactly.
Because that's what I use my balls for. As a sort of breakwater for any wet farts I might do. So he doesn't get to the knob.
Ah, right, okay.
Skid Mark no balls.
Yeah, you see. Mark Noble can't do that. Nah. Because he's got no balls. Eh? There you go. He's been running up his little no-balled mouth, saying, just chatting shit, basically.
Chatting wesh.
About...
As I like to say.
Jesse Lingard. He needs to remember where he is.
He should have been... For reference, Jesse Lingard should have had a penalty yesterday.
Right.
Mark Noble pulled him down inside the box.
Mark Noble pulled him down inside the box. Also, I can't remember who it was. One of the West Ham players stamped on the back of Jesse's Achilles, which was a red card. If you get spotted that, it's a red. Because it wasn't like the ball was there. He's literally just deliberately fouled him. So this idea that Jesse Lingard was diving about, which is what Mark Noble's spouting, is rubbish.
So what's he said?
He said, that's football. He dived and I told him off for screaming. Funnily enough, he didn't really do it at our place, but he does it here. Tell you what he did do at your place, carry you into Europe, because you're all shit.
Do you know what that smacks of?
What?
Where you're going, she's gone to her mum's for the weekend. She's come back effing and jeffing. Well, she didn't learn that here.
Yeah.
So where she learned that? Because she doesn't say that when she's at our house. That's your new fella, isn't it? Teaching her all them words. That's what he's like. Well, he didn't learn that at the London Stadium, let me tell you.
I told him off. The thing with Mark Noble as well, he's got this faux Hardman image, hasn't he? Yeah. Remember when Paul Pogba just sort of threw him away like a wet tissue?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then he was like all hugging at the end, like, oh, we got over it. He got over it because Paul Pogba barely noticed you.
Like an empty tracksuit, wasn't he?
But despite the fact I think Mark Noble is an absolute bellend, I will give him credit because he did wrap up his quote by saying, we had a laugh on the pitch today. I love Jesse. He's a great character and I'm so pleased he's come here and getting his chance. He scored some fantastic goals. Obviously the one against us was hurtful. He's a great lad and he deserves everything he gets.
Ignore that. He said something nasty. Sack him.
Yeah, so I'm not...
No, that is nice.
You know, I'm not going to just focus on the negative drivel that Mark Noble has spouted. On a more sort of serious note though, he's talking about Jesse Lingard there. I thought Jesse Lingard was one of our better players yesterday. I thought he did quite well.
He was all right.
Other than Mason Greenwood, he's probably our best player.
Yeah.
He's doing all right, Jesse, this season, isn't he? And he's in that conversation. I know the Carabao Cup was second string, but he has had a couple of cameos in the league, and he's taken those cameos.
Yeah.
He has, hasn't he? And it's like, I feel like he's still in all these plans, you know, and maybe not as a starter, but I feel like if there was, say, a game where you need to rest someone and bring someone in, because you say you've got an important league game, then hopefully, fingers crossed, a Champions League knockout, he wouldn't mind bringing Jesse in for the league game.
No.
Do you know what I mean? He can trust him.
Yeah, and if there's injuries and stuff like that as well. And I think with Jesse, compare where he is now in terms of his presence in the squad, his ability, the way he's playing. You compare that to 12 months ago, where it was literally like, if he never plays for Manchester United again, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It's a massive transformation. I know we're only 7 games into the season, is it now? But it didn't look like even this would ever happen again. So for me, it's really good to see that, and it's good that we're seeing the best of him. And if he keeps playing like this, it's not... You know, the people yesterday wanting Phil Jones to come on, and part of you thinks, yeah, that'd be nice, but also, is there a sympathy element to this? With Jesse, there's none of that. There's no question of that. He's coming in, he's scoring goals, he's playing well. There's no like, oh, well done, you did a loan, and we know you had a bit of a tough time, so we'll give you some games. He's earning what he's doing, and he's playing really well, and, you know, long may it continue, because in current form, he's a vital member of the squad, and he might not be, you know, on the first name on the team sheet regularly, but he'll get plenty of game time this season if he keeps playing how he is. So, yeah, good on him.
Yeah, I always say, Manchester United, you have to force yourself into the conversation sometimes. That's the competitive nature of playing for a club like Manchester United. And Jesse Lingard has done that. Someone just said that, Gary Bro says, he also said Lingard's a brilliant footballer and a great guy and deserves everything he gets. Yeah, we just mentioned that. Yeah. So it wasn't all negative. Yeah. But on the Mark Nobles front.
Yes. I tell you what there isn't a mark on.
Go on.
And that's my balls. And do you know why that is, Jay?
Why?
Because of Manscaped's no-nick technology. Tell me a little bit more about Manscaped, Jay.
Manscaped, if you need to look after your tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah? Which we all do, don't we? We've got to move with the times. Yeah. It's 2021. It's not 1974 anymore.
No, you've got to be more subtle. None of this two-footed tackle.
No, you've got to look after it. Yeah. So, you need to check out Manscaped, who's sponsoring today's podcast.
Thank you, Manscaped.
They're the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. And it's back to school time. And what makes sure you pack the essentials to have the best year yet.
You are back at uni, Jay.
I am back at uni. Yeah. But I won't be needing to manscape for anything that goes on at uni, trust me.
Well, you might do. What if they want to do... What are you doing at uni?
I'm doing production, documentary production, TV, film and digital media.
What if they want to do a documentary production of, let's say, the Gobi Desert or some sort of sandy, arid plain?
Yeah.
But obviously you don't have access to flights, you can't get there, it's on the red list. Let's instead zoom in on your testicles, where with the hairless technology that you get with Manscaped, it simply looks like the rolling hills of the Sahara or the Gobi Desert, as mentioned before. That could be done thanks to Manscaped.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, because when I went for my interview for uni, I said, are you going to be filming balls? And she told me to leave the room.
Did she?
She just said, get out.
Maybe she's a bit... She didn't want you to ruin the surprise.
That was it.
What else has Manscaped got?
It's got the 4.0 lawnmower technology. You know what I hate?
What?
Is when people try and fob you off with like 2.0. Oh. You know what I mean? That was all right once.
Yeah.
You know, even 3.0 was acceptable at a time. But now, anything less than 4.0, I think is an insult.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a proper slap in the face.
Yeah.
And Manscaped got you covered here. Because they don't get out of bed for less than 4.0, neither do we.
No.
Right? So you got the 4.0 technology. Yeah? Now this is what I need more than anything. Because I'm at a certain age, so I've reached that age, mate. I used to mock people like me. I used to stand in the street with my mates, point at them and laugh and throw digestive biscuits at them. And now, I'm one of them.
What?
I need the nose and hair trimmer.
Honestly, I've had a nose hair issue since I was about 14.
I do. I caught myself the other day, I shouldn't even tell you this, in traffic, plucking nose hairs out with my fingers.
Sprinkle them out the window?
Yeah, man. Like it's bad, that, innit? It's horrible.
Why don't you have your little...
I didn't bring me weed whacker ear and nose hair trimmer with me, but I will be now. So, yeah, they've got you covered there. Yeah. Also got the crop preserver ball deodorant. There's no point in... you don't shave your chin, do you? Right? And not put anything on it. No. You don't just shave and then go out. You don't shave, but you don't trim.
Yeah, you have to lube, moisturise.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? And Manscaped have thought about that from down there as well. Yeah. So they've got you the ball deodorant, crop reviver toner, plus 2 free gifts. Performance boxer briefs and the Shed travel bag.
Lovely.
I love travel bags, mate.
Pack it all in together, get off the bus looking like...
You do, don't you, with your iPod on, you look like you're part of the firm, do you know what I mean? Like, that's mint, that. I love all that. And it's got a 7,000 RPM motor.
Which is too many. If anything, too many RPMs, but we're not going to complain.
You can never have it. It's got everything. Cutting edge ceramic blade.
Yeah.
As you said.
If people want to get this...
everything's there.
If people want to access the brilliance of Manscaped, what do they have to do, Jay?
Right. So if you want to get your 2 free gifts and all that jazz, and you're 20% off and you're free shipping, use the code PaddockLive at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping, gifts, ball toner, 4.0 technology, 7,000 RPMs, all that business, proprietary skin safe, TM technology, ceramic cutting edge stuff. Yeah, blades. Yeah. So you're not nicking anything down there. No. Understand me? No. All right? Good. Go and check it out. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring
Link
this
is
podcast.
in the description as well. Just scroll down and click it. Just scroll down and click it. See if you fancy it. Get it. Paddock Live code at checkout. Brilliant.
Brilliant. Next? What's his next, my friend? Right, we'll talk about this briefly. I'm going to move on. Anthony Martial.
Yeah.
Getting pelters. I was at the ground last night. He was getting hammered. Like a lot of people. And when I say hammered, I don't mean people were screaming and shouting at him. I mean, where I was stood, people moaning. Like, which happens, doesn't it? People going, it's not good enough. He's not interested. Look at the lack of runs. Look at him not even sort of dragging a defender away when someone's, going through. Not even trying to get into the space when he's got the ball. Just not looking up for it, basically. Yeah. Which is the sort of the bare minimum a lot of people expect. We've been over this. The fan cam spoke about it. You've done a debate. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. No. I'll just speak to you briefly about it. Was last night the straw that broke the camel's back for Anthony Martial?
I think it might have been. I think there seems to be an extra layer to this one where there, I wasn't at the game, but saw stuff on Twitter about. Usually there tends to be a Tony Marshall came from France at some point to try and come on, mate, let's get back.
There was one of them, I think.
There was one
early doors when he missed in the first half, didn't it?
But it didn't, by the sound of it, and you're sort of.
I'm in the singing section, CRA bit. So what happens there is, when I say I hear that, I might hear 12 people singing it. I mean, there's a bit more, but you get a lot of chants in there. Some of them take off, some of them don't.
Yeah, and again, from what you've just said there as well, the fact that the crowd in the stadium, which tend to be the most supportive, I would say, of any United fans, the most sort of least likely to boo, least likely to complain.
That's when if you got a good barometer of when a manager's really in trouble, when he loses the crowd at Old Trafford. Yeah. When Van Gaal lost it, when people I remember being at the Chelsea game when people were chanting Jose Mourinho's name when Van Gaal had lost 3 in a row, and it was like, this is the end. When you lose that, you ain't got anywhere left to go because they tend to be the most back the manager fans. I'm not saying people online don't back the manager, I'm not saying that at all, but they're the ones that tend to stick by it till the bitter end. So when you lose that, you lose a lot with players as well. Yeah,
exactly. And by the sound of it, that support doesn't quite seem to be there as much anymore. And one thing I will say for him in a sort of sympathetic fashion, it is unfortunate for him that his play style, which looks so brilliant and casual when it's going well, is the worst play style to have when you're going through a bad time.
You've said this for a while.
Because you look like you don't care. And of course he cares. But because he looks like that when he's playing well. When he got 23 goals in a season, he looks like he doesn't care. That's his demeanour, that's his play style, that's what he does. He likes ball to feet, he likes to, he's not a big, smiley, happy character who goes around sprinting everywhere. When you're scoring goals, that's fine. And you can, it's a bit of a character quirk, all that sort of stuff. But when you're not, it looks terrible. So I feel a little bit sorry for him there because, what is his sort of his strength is also his weakness in this situation.
The thing is though, Joe, you said this a million times and you're right. things aren't going well, you change.
Yeah.
Like, the great players change. Or, like, and you said, don't compare them to, why not? You compare players to the best players, in my opinion, because they're the ones you should aspire to be. Especially at Manchester United, we've had so many good ones. When Andy Cole came from Newcastle, he was a get on the end of crosses type of striker. That was it. That's all he did at Newcastle. Peter Beardsley feeding it into him. He had, I think, Scott Sellers and Robert Lee or whatever on the wings, firing it in for him, and just get on the end of that. That's it. When he came to United, Fergie was asking him to drop deep, link up. He had to change his game, and he adapted. It took him a little while, but he did it. Scholes used to be just a guy coming in late into the box. By the end of his career,
a second striker for a while.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
By the end of his career, he's like a quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's almost a DM.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Good players, gigs from out the wing to the middle. They adapt. They adapt when the body can't handle it. They adapt when things aren't going right for him.
Yeah.
He's not doing any of that.
Wayne Rooney.
Wayne, perfect, but even better example.
Someone comes in, he has to drop into midfield. He goes on the left-hand side. He's a number 10. Now you're a number 9. Now you're back on the left. Now you have to drop deep again for the rest of your career. Like, he would get moved around and change his style and drop back and stay. You know, there were times when he had to lead the line for a season and he couldn't do that dropping back stuff. There were times when he's playing on the left. But yeah, and you have to be able to do that.
Because you play football, and you don't have to play football so high level. No. You'll look at players and you think he must be a nightmare to defend against them.
Yeah.
Or imagine having trying to mark Ronaldo. Imagine him just there, he's here, he's good. You know what I mean? And I looked at Martial last night, and you think, just from a football point of view, you'd think this is an easy day at the office. Yeah. He's just not making those runs. He's not physical. He just looks, and I hate it because I don't like slagging off players. I just don't. No. He just, to me, looks like he's lost confidence. And people go, don't want me in that, he's lazy. He just looks like he doesn't, I don't know, it's almost like he doesn't want to be there. And whether it is confidence, whether it's just his attitude, I hate using that word, but, you have to question it at some point. I think it's a loss of confidence, regardless of what it is. We can't carry on for much longer. You're going to get into it on your debate that you've done, so I'll leave it to that because I don't want to hammer the kid. But Nick Albany says, Tony was player of the year 2 years ago, confidence problem. I'm with you on that one, bro. I think it might be a confidence problem. I do. He just doesn't seem like that.
One thing I haven't
doesn't have that swagger that he used to have.
One thing I haven't heard anyone say is that he doesn't have talent. He's never done it. Yeah. He can't finish. He can't dribble. Like, that's the thing. Because he can do all these things, and because he can be a 20-plus goal season striker, he is going to get a little bit of extra leeway and a little bit of extra credit. But at some point, that has to turn into performances on the pitch, doesn't it?
100%. Someone's asking when's the new Scotty and Motti podcast out. It's me, Joe, James Young and Scotty now. We'll do one this Sunday. Should we do one this Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll chat about nonsense on there. But yeah, thanks for your support on that. Right, let's move on swiftly. Hang on a minute.
New Pope.
Someone's saying about Podge Benson in the chat says, great interview with Yapstam on Off the Ball YouTube channel. No, don't know that. Uploaded
check
today. We'll go and check that out. I don't know, it's probably one of our rivals now, who cares?
We like the rivals.
Yeah, well done. Yapstam, the greatest defender ever, by the way. Diogo Dalot.
Who's better, Yapstam, Dennis Irwin? I know they're not the same position, but because in my head,
that's the benchmark, innit?
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. That is the benchmark of. I've never seen a better fullback than Dennis Irwin for Manchester United. I don't think I've ever seen a better fullback in the league, Premier League for Manchester United. Well, sorry, in the Premier League in general, and I've never seen a better centre-back in the Premier League than Yapstam. If I had to choose one of them, I've always said Yapstam's the greatest defender I've ever seen, so I'll probably stick with that.
Okay.
But Dennis Irwin, certainly the most.
Then that's fine. Sorry, you don't have to like him. I like him. I think he's quite good, but obviously you don't rate him. Go on.
I was more of an Alexander Butner fan. Diogo Dalot. I like Diogo Dalot.
Yeah.
But, and there is a but, is he, because this is the sort of theme, there's a lot of players that played last night that didn't really put themselves into all he's thinking. And I think Diogo Dalot is one of them who's still, I don't think Ollie fancies him.
No.
I don't. I think if Ollie had his way, he probably would have gone on a permanent move somewhere. There was talk of it happening. Didn't quite happen.
If Kieran Trippier was available for 15 million euros or less, Dalot
like
wouldn't be at the club anymore.
Yeah.
And again, it's not one of them things where it's like, he's shit.
Yeah.
But like you said, Ollie just doesn't seem to fancy him. No. He came in, he's never played him. He got a game last night. I'm not saying that he literally hasn't played him, but he's never been like, do something.
I just feel like
one of the first things Ollie did, is buy a 50 million quid right back. So he's, it's like, well, I'm quite young. Yeah, this guy's just as young as you. Oh, okay, well, I'd like to play. Yeah, well, I've just spent 50 million on Wan-Bissaka. From moment one, it didn't look as though he fancied Diogo Dalot. That hasn't really changed. And, like you said, I think if he could have, he would have replaced Dalot by now.
Yeah, I think it's the same old argument. Going forward, Dalot's great. Defensively, he's questionable. So, yeah, he could be one who's maybe even January.
Although not as questionable as Tellez last night, by the way.
Tellez is another... Yeah, Tellez... I think I just about got to my seat when he was... When was their goal? It was early... No, it was... Actually, I've been in the stadium before that. Yeah.
10 minutes?
It was early doors, though, wasn't it? Yeah. And long got settled, and it was like... Tellez was just... He looked miles away from even making a challenge. Do you know, sometimes we criticise Fred for not even being close enough to make a foul. It's a counter-attack in the 93rd minute, and you think, just take the yellow. Yeah. Just foul him, stop him. And he's like, not even close enough to do that. Yeah. It was one of them, wasn't it? He was, and also he's in the box, he like can't dive in. It just wasn't great from Alex Tellez. Weird, because me and you were here, what, a year ago, even? Saying that he could be the first choice.
Well, would be.
Yeah, when we bought him, because all he pushed for the deal through, didn't he? He didn't want to wait till January till he was a free agent. He wanted to get him straight away. He thought he's going to probably take over from Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw's been the best left back on the planet. Alex Tellez, yeah, another one who you can probably file under surplus to requirements, maybe. The trouble all these players have got now is the League Cup would have been their competition, and that's not great, but it's at least our competition. Yeah. They're out of that. You've got the FA Cup, which kicks off, when is it? January, whenever it is. So, yeah, they might feature in the early rounds of that. The Champions League, we're already in a position where we can't afford to rest players and mess about there. It's got to win every game now. The league is going to be very tight this year. And if Ollie's looking at it, and he's looking at, say, Tellez, he's going, if I've got games coming thick and fast, can I afford to swap Luke Shaw out for 1 week for Alex Tellez, just to give Luke Shaw a breather? Can I afford to drop Aaron Wan-Bissaka and give Diogo Dalot a chance? Or just, to rest Aaron Wan-Bissaka for a week? I don't know if he'll trust him. Same with Martial, I don't know if he will.
I think unless it's injuries. I think he's an injury backup. Can I just say, and I know we talk about it all the time, but for some reason, you saying it then, it just sort of we put some droplets of water on the sort of dried out Petri dish. How good it is that we're 5 games into the season talking about every game mattering again. Yeah. Because for the last, certainly since Louis van Gaal came in, Moyes, I thought we could maybe win the league just because you got the league champions. Certainly since Louis van Gaal came in, every single season has started with me knowing we aren't going to win the league. Yeah. And this season, we're 5 games in thinking we can't afford to drop points because we're actually going for it this season. That's such a good position to be in, and so nice of a mentality shift to actually be in that place that we're in now. I just think he's not quite good enough, but also a lot of that team yesterday were in a difficult position where they aren't used to playing with each other. And yes, all of them individually are good players, and you go through that team and none of them are shocking. But Dalot doesn't play with Bailly, and Bailly doesn't play with Lindelof, and Lindelof doesn't play with Dalot. And, you can go through the whole team. None of those lot are used to playing with each other because they're all second choice. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes when you rest everyone, regardless of how good those players were on the pitch, because man for man, we were better than them. Yeah. That was a top 6, top 8 team yesterday, if that team plays with each other every week. Yeah. Because they've never played together, there must be part of the sort of, you think, well, what chance have I got here? I don't know my left back, I don't know my centre back, I ain't got a partnership here. It's difficult to just come in and win games. So I think maybe let's say Luke Shaw got injured, you slot Tellez in next to Maguire, behind Rashford, behind Pogba. You've got a chance of a player there that could put in a decent shift, but yesterday was terrible for him. I think the same with Dalot as well. If Wan-Bissaka got injured and Dalot was sandwiched between Sancho or Greenwood and Varane, I think he could look more than competent.
I don't mean to send you down a rabbit hole here, but you've mentioned him and it's worth touching upon. Jadon Sancho, because out of everyone that started yesterday, he's probably the only one who could claim to be a first-team player. Yeah. I know Mason came on and Jesse's in around the first team, but if everyone's fit, there's a chance Jadon Sancho starts for Manchester United. I don't think any of the other players do. No. People questioning him, worrying about him. Some comments are just idiotic. Some are, there's a fair point of making it. He hasn't had a great start. I don't think that's beyond reasonable. Yeah. But is it a concern for you?
No, not at all.
I'm glad. I'm the same.
I think he could have been better, but I think one of the things that, again, and I hate to try to look like I'm finding something that it cannot be. There is no stat to comprehend how brilliant my mind is and what I've noticed. But the good thing with Jadon Sancho is, and anyone who's seen him at any level will know, his short passing and his composure on the ball in tight spaces, I think he's above Greenwood's. I think that's one of the things he's better than at Mason Greenwood. That sort of, the sort of rondo stuff in training where it's 1 or 2 men in the middle and 4 or 5 men around the outside. That sort of situation replicates itself all the time in games when a team's sat back on the edge of the box, you've got a fullback, you've got a central midfielder, and you've got Sancho, Wan-Bissaka, and maybe Bruno playing in and around him. Sancho's brilliant at that. And I think he allows us to maintain pressure on the opposition's 18-yard box, maybe slightly better than someone like Mason Greenwood does. So I think even though he's not getting the goals and assists at the moment, I think that kind of consistent penned-in pressure that we got on Newcastle was the other game? Was it West Ham or did he not start against West Ham? Certainly against Newcastle anyway. I think he's really good at that, and I think the other stuff will come as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a major issue. Someone was pointing out, I did a thing on the radio before, someone was pointing out, he had a bit of a slow start last season at Dortmund.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of pressure on him, big money move, but he is a talent. Mm-hmm. He's only young as well, as he's 21 or something stupid. People forget that because he's already gone from City to Dortmund, tore it up, got into the England team and all the rest of it, and come to United. But yeah, it's not too much of a concern. We know what a talent he is, and I'm sure he will absolutely smash it for Manchester United Football Club. Donny van der Beek, everyone's new flavour of the month. The talking point after every game, before every game, is Donny. And me and you were talking earlier off camera, and it was like, feels like the sort of the spirit of Martial FC has transferred itself. A new host, exactly what I was going to say, like a science fiction analogy. Yeah. And has latched on to Donny van der Beek, where it's like, he's the answer to every problem. Yeah. Ollie's out of order for the way he's treated him. You can literally swap the words Donny van der Beek for Andy Martial, and those were the same arguments being made last year. Yeah. And it was like, he's not being treated right. Ollie doesn't know what to do with him.
He needs a run of games.
He needs a run of games. He's better than the other options we've got. He's class on the ball. He's different. All this sort of stuff. He's a real quality footballer. He's surrounded by people that aren't on his level. Just nonsense. Some of it nonsense anyway. Where do you stand on Donny van der Beek? Are you someone who believes... After last night, let's keep it in the context of this. Do you think he's given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anything to think about with his performance last night?
I think Ole's got something to think about with Donny anyway, because Donny is a good player.
Yeah.
But without wanting to repeat myself too much, the one point we made, and we made it on the preview, and I'm not sure if the preview's out yet or if that's going out tomorrow, but this is the point I'll make again on this, because we've said that everyone's heard he's not as good as Pogba, he's not as good as Bruno. We know that. One thing I would like to see is a Donny McTominay partnership. Yeah. I think of all the options that allow Donny to play for Manchester United, McDominate.
See what I mean?
Fuck me, that was
Come
good.
on, man.
McDominate. Forget your McFred.
Yeah.
McDominate.
McDominate. You understand?
That's nice, that.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's his best chance. I think Fred's too all over the place. He doesn't have that composure. Matic is too slow. Not quite got the legs on him anymore. But I think McTominay has a bit of Matic's legs and physicality and a little bit of Fred's defensive awareness. And I think that could maybe work. So I'd like to see that. I think Donny's a good player. I like that he's in the squad. I think he's a good option. I don't think he's done anything sensational yet, but let's see Donny and McTominay at some point. Maybe at home against Aston Villa would be a good chance.
Can we have some likes as well, please? There's over 1,200 people watching and barely any likes. So do give us a like, get involved. I'll go into some of the comments. I've not read many comments out, so forgive me. People feeling you, Joe. Van der Beek and McTominay, says Abdi Libax. McDonough, says Paul Lucas. Frank Hart says Ollie needs to experiment with Donny and McTominay. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people saying it. Oh, Steve9893 says Van McBeek. And it's Joshy says Don Minet. Yeah, but McDominate. Oh, John Wyatt says McDominatrix.
Oh,
kinky.
Nice.
Always whipping in the crosses. Right. Yeah, so... Yeah,
no, right. Sorry. Man wasn't in, man was just filth. Sorry.
Filth. We'll just move on. Yeah, that could be an option for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We'll have to see what happens with that one. I think that if that did happen, if he went, right, Villa, maybe not Villa because Van der Beek just played a game, but if for an upcoming game, Everton, whatever he went, I'm going to play McTominay and Van der Beek, I think everyone would be buzzing.
Can we reopen our opinion amnesty, please.
Right. You can have an opinion amnesty.
I need to take one out and put one in.
Yeah, one out, one in. What are you taking out?
I'm taking out that Fred will prove himself to be a very good midfielder this season.
Right, but remember, this is an amnesty, so you don't be wasting it on something like Nathan Greenwood's going to score over 100 goals for United, because that's just
This one is stunning.
It's got to be like, what?
Yeah, but it's an amnesty.
It's an amnesty, so you can't be trolling him.
You can't clip this up and be like, this is all Joe thinks. I'm saying this because I know it's a bit much.
Yeah, my amnesty was Harry Maguire will get double figures this season. And it's not looking too great.
No.
Right.
Here's mine.
Go on.
Just extending what I've just said even further.
Yeah.
Scott McTominay,
Yeah.
because of the frailness of that midfield, could be one of United's most important players this season. Like, top 3 most important. If he develops the way he looks like he could, he could be, one of United's most important players, because I think he's the most well-rounded midfielder we've got that actually has something going on defensively. I think he's absolutely crucial to us winning things this season.
That's not the most crazy thing I've heard. I'm going to stick my neck out and say, I think Scott McTominay could be one of the top 5 or 6 most important players for Scotland.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Honestly, I do. I know that's pushing it a bit than yours, but that's what I'm going to go with. Yeah, I mean...
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I understand that. And as an amnesty, that's not... You know, the point of an amnesty, you say something that's a little bit outrageous and you don't get abused for it. So that's not too bad. And the only one that gives me hope in that midfield is Scott McTominay.
Yeah.
I don't have hope that Fred, is at 28, is going to turn into some player he's not been for the last 10 years.
He's not just going to be Michael Essien.
No, he's not, is it? And, Nemanja Matic
or Matic, for instance,
isn't going to age like wine. He's going to get worse because he's that age.
Age like piss.
Or milk.
That's fair. That's fair, because piss gets better. Let me tell you.
I found some vintage piss the other week.
Next to the canal?
Honestly. Yeah.
What a vintage, by the way. The May 2021 vintage. In that bush next to the canal. Glorious stuff.
Honestly.
Sparkling, naturally.
My skin has never felt so replenished. Right. Anyway, enough about bathing in piss. Let's move on, shall we? Cutting edge. Cutting edge on this show. Talking of cutting edge.
Oh, yeah. Manscaped.
No, well, don't forget to check out Manscaped. Thank you for
cutting your hedge.
Yes, nicely done. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah.
Have we got that video? Can we show it?
Let's get it up. Is it playing?
Yeah. Is it playing?
Play it.
Can we play the Cristiano Ronaldo video?
There it is, look.
Hey?
It's over your face, Jay.
That's all right, that's fine. Put the Cristiano Ronaldo video over my face. He's been out in Hume.
What is he playing at?
I don't know, right?
I've made a couple of suggestions.
I made a joke about him going buying a sandwich and people like, he's not buying a sandwich. Right, okay, fine. He's there with his, his entourage, his security, his bodyguards, like the president of South Manchester. I got it wrong then. South Manchester.
South Korea?
No, the region of Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
So adds a little bit of intrigue. People
What's
like, what's he doing? Yeah, it's not really what you'd expect.
Why is he in a subway in Hume? Do you know what I've been in a subway in Hume before.
Yeah.
After a night out, hungover.
Yeah.
I think he's out for freshers.
Yeah.
Did you see him when you were out for freshers?
I've not been out for freshers.
Why not?
I am a student and I could legally go to freshers.
Legally?
Yeah. Despite the fact I'm 41 years old, I could.
Show me your credentials as a fresher, please.
Dickhead. I'm a mature student.
I'm going to arrest you for assault a police officer. Dickhead. I don't know what he's been up to. Do you think it's some midlife crisis? Because he wouldn't even be pictured with a bottle of Coke.
We've lost our minds, Joe. Yeah. We've lost the fucking plot. We're through the looking glass. Is Cristiano Ronaldo having a midlife crisis? Because he's been
spotted in a subway. He went in and here's what he said. He went, big beef melt. And they went, what? And he went, I'll just get a foot long big beef melt. And he went, we haven't sold them in years. He's like, I've been to Subway for 12 years in Manchester. What do you mean you don't do the big beef melt anymore? And he's like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. All right, meatball marinara, vegan or regular. And then he just went, fucking what? Slapped everyone.
Do you know there was that story when the League Grant said that when Ronaldo didn't have a pudding, no one had a pudding.
Yeah.
Do you think when Ronaldo ordered his sandwich in a Subway, everyone just ordered the same one?
Yeah.
What's he having? No, shit on a bun. All the same.
And the woman at the counter went, do you want any cookies with that? And then everyone went, will they have cookies? No. Fucking hell, we can't have cookies now either.
The Subway were gutted because
what do you think he'd get if you go to Subway? What do you think he'd have?
I think he'd have I like meatball marinara. And I like to kid myself that me and Ronaldo eat the same thing, so I'm going to go with meatball marinara with some jalapenos on it. And I think you'd have a Pepsi Max cherry and a cookie, because that's my meal.
One of the things I love about you anyway is that at every restaurant or place we go to, you have your meal that you have every time.
Yeah.
I love that you're so set in your ways, even when imagining what someone else might have, you still pick what you have. What do you think you'll have? Meatball marinara.
Joe ordered a KFC before, and he knew what I wanted. He sent me my order for me. He went, I've got you this. And I was like, that's perfect. You're a legend. It was everything. The drink, the snack, everything aside was spot on, because that's all I ever have. It's like, if I go to Nando's, he knows what the same thing. There's no deviation. This is a good point.
Go on, Ed.
Someone just flagged this up. I need to find it.
Poke this
because, Mr. White says, W14 was it, J-Lad? Yes, Ronaldo was behind us in the box yesterday. He was in W14 box. Because there was like a little bit of, hullabaloo, shall we say? A little bit,
Frack
going on, like, whispering all this. And everyone's facing the other way from a point in the game. I know the game wasn't that exciting, like, what's going on? And so, like, Ronaldo's up there. And I looked and he was just sat there, you could see him. So, like, my lad, because bless me lad, I took him to the game yesterday and he's like, on the way there, he's like, can you see Ronaldo? I'm like, no. I don't think he's playing. And then he's like, oh, see Pogba? I'm like, no. He's like, I see Rashford though, he's my fave. I'm like, no.
At least I see.
He likes Jesse Lingard though. He likes Jesse Lingard, so you got to see him. But then I was like, I'd sold my son up. There you see Ronaldo, there you go. You got to see him not playing football, but sat there watching football.
That's good.
Stephen Bessick says, Jay, I went freshers at 41, graduating in 2018. You go and do it, mate. Go on, lad. Well done, Stephen. I love that. Nick Albany says, salad only, I think, for Ronaldo. What will he eat? I
tell you what, there's one sandwich in Subway, right? And they do one that's called the veggie patty, because my flatmate's veggie.
Yeah.
And they do one that's called the veggie patty, which is like this looks like sort of insulation. Yeah. You know that stuff that gymnasts fall into off a trampoline?
Yeah.
Those little blocks.
Yeah.
It's just one of them.
Right.
And that you think, fucking hell, that's a bad veggie option. Do you know what the other veggie option they do is? It's called a veggie delight, I think it's called, Jay. And what it is salad.
Right.
That's it! It's a salad! It's just bread with lettuce on it. Veggie delight, that one. Just salad on a bread. What?
That's like when
could you make any less effort?
I've got your steak surprise. I was surprised there's no steak.
Yeah, literally that.
Yeah, it's like that.
Veggie delight from Subway, please.
That is a disgrace. We're going to wrap it up there.
Brilliant.
Because actually it's 40 minutes. 40 minutes of goodness. And considering it wasn't a busy news day other than the Ronaldo breaking news, that's all good. Big thank you to, I know said Subway then, we are available for sponsorships by Subway if you're interested, to Manscaped. Make sure you go and check them out. The link should be in the description. You get 20% off, free posted packaging, terms and conditions apply. Go and check out that 4.0 lawnmower technology. Yeah. Look after your balls.
It's not Subway, but speaking of a spicy 6-incher, make sure you shave your downstairs, correct?
6-incher?
Yeah.
You lucky bastard.
Mate, and that's on a soft.
Oh, mate. Don't I know it?
Mine's the opposite though. It starts that big, and then as I get aroused, it sort of fossilises like a diamond, and go. It's fucking quarter of an inch. But my fucking word, you could cut glass with it.
And I think Joe's fossilised knob is a perfect place to end this.
Use the code Paddock Live at checkout for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Link in the description.
Other than playing with your fossilised knob, what are you going to be doing this weekend? Are you doing the watch along?
I'm doing the watch along.
You're doing the watch along. We're going to be there with the fan cams as well.
Yes.
When's the preview out? Me and
the preview's out tomorrow.
Preview's out tomorrow. So make sure I'll be on the news. I think myself in the morning. It's going to be. I think we'll do a live one from here. Oh no, we won't. I'm going to be at Old Trafford. Ignore me. I'm talking rubbish. Brilliant. So make sure you check out all that. Go and check out paddockmerch.com.
Yes. We've
got all the merchandise. We've got your Mason Greenwood t-shirts, your Ronaldo t-shirts, your Bruno Fernandes t-shirts, your Marcus Rashford clobber.
And we've also just had confirmation we will be starting mugs, hats, kids' clothes as well. So if you got a kid or you are a kid, we're going to be selling all that stuff. But mugs, a lot of people have been asking about mugs. We're going to have mugs very, very soon as well. But check out the merch on there anyway as well.
That's very, very good. This has been Stretford Paddock Live.
Just a bit, mate.
Yeah. We're almost, I was going to say we're almost at 700,000 subs. We're not, but we're over 600,000. What gets 700,000 by the end of the season? So give us a subscribe if you can. Not if you can, just do it. Yeah. That's been Joe Smith. Go and check him out, Joe Smith 93. on all socials. I'm J Matty. Thanks for watching.